Hello guys, and thanks for joining me for another video. Today we're going to carry on the Transport Fever 2 campaign and with Chapter 1, Mission 3. So let's get into it.
In the north of Britain, in the midst of the Victorian era, the industrial city of Glasgow is bursting at the seams. The factories are working full blast, but the competition is not sleeping. In terms of economic issues, the countries in continental Europe have long since caught up. Something must be done to stop the cradle of the Industrial Revolution from falling behind. Anyone who doesn't toe the line now will fall by the wayside.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to my homeland, the UK.
Scotland. The land of enlightenment. The land of progress. The land of science. The land of industry. The Glasgow City Council wants to modernise the transport infrastructure so that the city remains the vibrant industrial metropolis that it is today in the future as well. With your transport company, you're as good as predestined for this sort of contract. The shipyards on the Firth of Clyde have been famous for their sturdy boats for quite some time. New processes for the mass production of high-quality steel are now opening up previously undreamt-of possibilities. A member of the City Council recently proposed to you during a pheasant hunt whether you'd like to supply his friends in the shipbuilding industry with this essential material. Coal and iron are available in abundance in the areas around Glasgow. Off to the blast furnace with them.
Hey guys, so here we are in Scotland, at the north tip of the UK. Looks like we're centering in around Glasgow in this episode. The first thing it wants us to do is deliver coal and iron to the steel works. So it looks like we can just set up a nice little route of trucks here. Just a simple... We connect this road to the end here. We get the road from the end there through this little valley. Looks like this is coming uphill, so it might be a little bit slower. And if we just stick a truck station down in the middle here, try and get that nice and straight. And then we're going to need two different lines. Oh, hang on. I completely forgot to put the truck stations in down at this end. So we need a truck station for the coal. And one for the iron. There we go, they're both in range. Now we'll set the lines up. So on line 1, with that being orange, we'll do iron on that one. So we want to go from Fort William down at the bottom there where we'll say wait for a full load to drop it off at Glasgow. And that's going to be road freight, iron ore, and then on line 2, not a new line, line 2 we want to go from the coal mine, wait for a full load to drop off. Oh, that hasn't, there we go. It didn't work first time for some reason there. RF, coal ore. You've seen my series on the channel, you'll know that that's the naming conventions I use for everything. RF as road freight, RP as road passenger, TP is train passenger, TF train freight, and so on and so forth. We're going to need a road depot out here. Try and locate that pretty centrally. And I think if we go, how much money have we got? 49 million, so money's not an issue, so we'll go for 10 on each line just to make it kick in a little bit quicker. 10 cargo wagons on each line, and then if we hit play button even, they should roll out. And hopefully, as soon as they start delivering, we'll start producing steel here and that'll end the mission. Now, I have played this level previously, guys. It was a while ago, but I know there's a bonus mission that involves around this that actually took me a little while to figure out. I did make a short video at the time to help people out on how to complete that. I'll talk you through it again when we get there. I had to Google it myself the first time I went through, because it didn't really make a lot of sense. I do want to turn off prices that keep coming up from the vehicles as well. I don't mind the green ones, but the red ones, as they're travelling along the roads, all the negative amounts does tend to be a little bit of a pain to look at all the time. I guess that's the first coal arriving, and then the first iron is on its way back up. As soon as that one arrives, it should complete this first mission for us. It does seem to be the case that you get 5 normal missions and 3 bonus tasks. So far, that's what I've seen with the other campaign missions we've played through. But let me know how you've been getting on with the campaign, guys, whether you think it's enjoyable. I do like the fact that it's taken sort of real times in history, and it explains a few bits on the way through and gives you an understanding of certain parts of history.
The shipyards crave steel for colossal tubs. The bigger the better. But it doesn't get there all by itself.
Right, okay, so this next mission was just to deliver 10 steel, even, into the industrial area of Glasgow. If we have a look, not lines, at where I want steel, so it's down in this bottom corner here. Okay, so we're going to need to connect it up with a road. Looks like here's probably the best place to just go. Ooh, a little bit expensive, but we do have money, luckily. That bridge actually looks quite nice as well. We'll connect in this road here just to help it out a little bit, if it'll let me grab the end of it. There we go. And I think if we go for a truck stop just there, that'll be the shortest route that'll allow us to do what we want. Now over here, we are going to need an extra cargo platform. So we'll put that on there. We want a new line from here where we'll tell it to wait for a full load and indefinitely. And then we want to take that steel and drop it off in the town. So that's going to be RF again for road freight, and that's going to be Glasgow steel. And we need to pop a vehicle on there, or we'll go with 3 for now. If I start putting too many on now, then they'll cause a delay in all the rest of the traffic here, which is what I want to try and avoid. There we go, hopefully these guys will start picking up. It's got Glasgow as a consumer, so it should start putting them out. But one at the moment, we're just waiting for iron ore to be delivered by the look of it. Yeah. It's 2 iron and 2 coal per steel. As soon as that goes, how many do we need? We need to deliver 10, so it's 2 trucks worth. It's just a case of waiting for iron. So what we'll do in the interim, I know this probably won't help for this mission, but to help things going forward, because we're really behind on iron, we'll add another few carriages onto the iron line. So waiting for that first one here. This should hopefully, and then the next one drops off, should hopefully give us enough iron to start. There we go. Started that carriage off on its way, and then we'll just wait for this next one to fill up, and then we'll be away. It's saying Glasgow's got a total of 30 there. Now one thing you can do is you can see the factory is saying that in Glasgow it's demanding 33. And that goes off what the truck stop can deliver to. So a good way of, if we click on Glasgow here, we can see there's actually 83 is the demand in Glasgow. But that's telling us, because of what's been demanded to the steel mill, we're only actually covering 33 of it with our truck stop. But it will start moving up as the town grows and more buildings pop up within the catchment area of this truck stop. I believe that's how it works anyway. So here we go, the first one's about to be dropped off here. That should be the first 5, and the second one's just behind here. As soon as this one drops off, it should complete that mission for us.
Your deliveries of high-quality steel make it possible to build particularly seaworthy ships. Time to make use of these robust steamers. Sustenance for the city's working masses is found out on the islands. Delectable fish swim in the sea. And the distilleries on the Hebrides produce an absolutely exquisite whiskey. It's called the Water of Life. Get out there and explore the area. Every ship needs a harbour, and your venture needs a particularly good one.
It wants me to build a harbour for whiskey down here. So the side with the anchor on is where the boats will moor in. So I'm going to connect it in, make sure we've got a road connection here. If you hold shift with N and M as well, guys, it lets you turn in smaller increments. Get it a little bit squarer.
Help to build a shipyard so that it won't be long before you can call a beautiful ship your own.
And it wants a shipyard, so you can see the bit with the land at the end. It's got to go onto the land. Put this in.
Buy a stately boat that will sail you safely through the wild waters of the Western Isles on your daring expedition.
There we go, we've only got one option of boat at the minute. It does carry whiskey, so we'll take that one.
Explore the Western Isles to obtain whiskey for the city.
Establish a route and have the ship sail the harbour between Port Allen. So that's Port Allen there, okay. So we want to go from Port Allen to Glasgow, and that is going to be SF for sea freight, and it's going to be Glasgow whiskey. And then hopefully we can put this boat on that route. And I think we're going to have to wait here for the ship to actually sail that route. And once he's done, stopped at both ports, it looks like, or both docks even, should I say. Let's carry on with the mission.
Industry is buzzing. Thanks to your services, its need for steel is always covered. In contrast, a lack of personnel looms on the horizon. Nowadays, the city's working class is outrageously spoiled. Workforce is rebelling more and more against the prevailing working conditions. On the other hand, in the Highlands, countless hungry people wait gratefully for employment. All that needs to be done is to get them to the city. Build a railroad in the wild west of the Highlands, so that this remote stretch of land finally experiences the blessings of modern civilization.
Okay, so it wants us to build a passenger station, train station this is, in Glasgow and in Fort William. Fort William's down here, so we're going through that same valley where the iron and coal is. So we want a passenger station. And if we can stick this, I know it'll cost us some money, but if we can stick this into the town here, it'll save us making bus routes. That does cover the bulk of the town. We've just finished steam up the harbour. That one's now completed. Okay, so let's have a look at where we want to put the train station this end. Now for Glasgow, I think a bus route's going to be better if we keep this down at the bottom end here. We can sort of stay below the coal line that we've already got in here. We will have to have the road crossing. There's no real way of avoiding that. We'll tunnel through there. Yeah, it's not ideal to go over there, so we'll accept the tunnel through. We'll try and snake a little bit through this valley and then down into the station.
Supply the city of Glasgow with workers none the worse for wear who haven't fallen victim to the union's pipe dreams yet.
So we need to get 20 people to Glasgow. Okay, so they need to come from down at Fort William. So if we stick in depot here, just connect that in. I'm only going to run one train on here, so we don't need to worry about signalling for this one. What trains do we have?
These days, big landowners' fleecy balls of wool now graze where families of farmers once cultivated their patches. Lady MacDougall asks for help. She wants to know if all her little sheep are still together.
I will accept that one once we've set this train up. We'll finish what we're doing first. Now, there's no reason for us to not go for the fastest train here. This goes 31 miles per hour, and so do the carriages, and we needed 20 passengers, so we'll go with a capacity of 24. We need a new line from Fort William to Glasgow. So that'll be TP for train passenger. It's Fort William to Glasgow. So we'll let that run in the background, and you can keep a track here of how many people have gone between each station. I mean, the trains, and it will take a minute for that to bed in. We might have to end up putting a bus route in for Glasgow, but we'll see. We'll do the sheep one first.
Help with accounting, and look to see if all the sheep are still there.
So it looks like this one is just a case of clicking on...
All the people in charge have dozed off from all the counting.
Make some noise. Now, I remember this one from before. This is where you have to use the bulldozer and knock a few things down. It will cost a bit of money, this, but... See, the counter goes up there as I've deleted things.
What's going on here? Oh yeah. Inventory's over and done with. The sheep are all there. Madam, sir.
Yeah, so there we go. That is that one complete. So now it's just a case of waiting for these passengers. We've got one person waiting over there. I will just use the time to set up the bus route we were talking about, just in case it does miraculously increase the amount of people that want to travel. It's just going to be a simple loop around. We'll just take a couple of buses from here. We'll have the... I don't want to try and pronounce that, but Lobissant? Something like that. It's obviously French. And from this, we're going to go for RP for road passenger. And this is just going to be the Glasgow bus. They are cool little vehicles, these. Little steam-powered buses. Top speed of 11 miles per hour and carry 5 people. In the early game, there is some really cool vehicles about. I like some of the steam trams as well, even. Modelled up on my words. These guys are going to go both the same way. They are. We'll turn this guy around, and he'll completely ignore us and go back again. They want one to head towards the Queen's Way. There we go. Just in time. Some people coming out here. If anybody got off the train. Doesn't look like anybody's coming out of the station anyway. But it's saying we've dropped off 2 people now. We've still got our boat running forward and back. It's not carrying anything yet. I reckon that's because this port isn't in catchment area for anywhere that wants whiskey. No, the whiskey's all at this top end, you see. But I'm sure it'll allow us to get to that. All we need to do now, guys, is wait for these people to be transported. So I'll just put a cut in here and I'll bring you back in once we've almost got there. Alright guys, looks like this should be it. We've got a train full of 24 people. I'm going to drop those off. And it's typical that they haven't counted. For some reason it did this, and the last train we bought up had 24 people and it only counted for 6. So I don't know when it's counting that the people have been transported.
The new workers from the Highlands are remarkably productive as they slave away. To keep them in a good mood, make sure they don't fall for any kinds of rebellious activities, precautionary sedation is called for. Whiskey from the Western Isles is excellently suited to this purpose. Supply the city with cheap booze that pacifies the dissatisfied, so that subversive activities don't get started. Plunge into the wonderful world of spirits. Thanks to your supply, no one will be left high and dry.
There we go, so typical guys, just as I was criticising it, thinking it wasn't working, it all popped up and completed, but Yeah, as I was saying, with the dropping off of the people, I wasn't quite sure. It wasn't counting them as soon as they landed in the station or as they left the station, so I don't know whether it was counting people as they got to their final destination or... But either way, the next mission we've got is to deliver the whiskey.
Some of the whiskey oddly disappears in transit. Is it likely that it evaporates out on the open seas? Is it the legendary angel share that imperceptibly vanishes there? If it is, then the angels must be awfully thirsty.
We'll have a look at that one again in a minute. We'll just stick with this main mission. So, deliver 25 whiskey to the commercial area of Glasgow. So the commercial area is the top end up here, and we can see that's where they're after the whiskey. So if we can get a truck stop in, that should cover most of the area there. It does. We're gonna need a truck station down here for when the ship docks. We're probably gonna need extensions on that as well, because we'll have a full ship's worth. These little buildings, if you're unaware guys, you can see there, the description, it increases the capacity, so once the cargo area is full, it stops you from losing any extra cargo that's dropped off. Then again, now we're going to need a line from the docks down there where we'll say load Ollie, and it wants to drop off at the truck stop that we just put in town. It's going to be RF at road freight, and it's going to be Glasgow whiskey. And then all we need to do is put a couple of trucks onto there. We'll go for 3 because why not? I'll tell you what, we'll go for 5 because it wants 25 delivering. That means it'll be each truck once. As long as we bring 25 in on the ship. What I will do, just to cheese the system a little bit, is tell it when it gets to Port Allen, wait for a full load, and then we can decide ourselves to bring it back once it's loaded, definitely loaded with 25, so we're bringing 10 now, and then we have to wait for the whole trip again. Let's have a look at this bonus task then. So it looks like some of the whiskey's going missing in transit.
A ship sails through the locks of the Inner Hebrides, rolling from side to side in peculiar curves. Word has it that cheerful singing coming from the steamer was heard on shore.
On the ship with the drunkards, well, we only have this one ship.
Captain Klein says the ferrymen are very poorly paid, so they might have occasionally treated themselves to a sip from the cargo. That just won't do, of course. If at all, then they ought to get drunk like self-respecting people do it, inside a good pub where it's nice and cosy.
Okay, so we need to supply the pub with whiskey. If we click on here, the pub is there, and that's already in catchment of the truck stop that we've placed outside, so hopefully we'll cover that one with the other mission anyway. We're almost at 25 here. Again guys, it's just going to be a waiting game now until this ship delivers, so I'll put another cut in and I'll get back to you when we've getting the whiskey into Glasgow. Right, so here we are guys. Here's the ship coming back into the Glasgow harbour. As you can see, we've got 40 whiskey on board. Hopefully that'll be picked up by all our vehicles that are waiting at the dock here. And we'll get that into town and complete both of the missions that we currently have. Like we just unlocked a new train. I don't think we'll be using that anytime soon. All of these guys should fill up with some to spare. Yeah. Looks like that bus route we put in earlier is really popular. Every stop's got a lot, but there's no need for us to look at adding more to that. It'll only increase the traffic. This mission doesn't need us to do that, so we won't bother. I'm sort of hoping that some of this cargo out of the first 5 truckloads at least will go into here. I know it's just going to get swallowed up by the general area. As you can see, that's delivered 5, but so far none to the pub. That's why I decided to let the ship bring in a little bit more than 25, just in case these 5 trucks that we arranged will bring the first 25 and finish this one mission. I think it'll be the next truck that comes up that'll finish the what's it called, the bonus mission.
Slight, thanks to you, throats are well lubricated all over Glasgow. But on an empty stomach, the water of life makes people anything but lively. What's required is a sound basis in the form of solid food. A new dish is currently on everyone's lips. Deep-fried fish with deep-fried potatoes. What a culinary delight! Help this masterpiece of British cuisine to triumphant progress. Your services are going to stuff the city's jaws and provide fishing operations on the Atlantic with record sales.
Looks like we're making traditional British fish and chips here. So that last delivery did actually complete the bonus mission as well, so there we go. It wants us to build a cargo station at the fishery and connect it up to Glasgow. Right, okay. So, cargo station then. Connect it into Glasgow. It's obviously going to be better if we can hijack this train line that we were already using. Bypass around the edge of the city. Too much slope there. There we go. Now, I'll just run a double track all the way up here just so we don't interrupt that passenger line. I mean, for the sake of just in the campaign mission, we could completely delete that passenger line now because we don't need it anymore. We want to deliver the fish into this area. Connect it to Glasgow. Can I get in this corner without deleting too much? Is that connected to the road? It is. We've got to get this track through. Maybe we've deleted a bit more than I originally wanted to there, but it's okay, we'll make it work. Can we get underneath that bridge? I don't want to go up here, I want to go... Oh, trying to connect this to the road, I think. We can try and come under to here. That works. Can sneak under that bridge. I don't know why it keeps trying to make us go down. So if we switch over onto that
The
track.
fish out in the Atlantic leap happily into the nets, all on their own. Thanks to the railroad, the merchandise is even still fresh when it arrives in town.
Oh, I know that has completed the mission, guys, but obviously it's only connected up to a passenger station at the minute, which I'm not happy with because it's just not right.
A mysterious stone circle is going to transport you into the past, where you can help James Fraser, an equally courageous and passionate man, to win the decisive Battle of Culloden against the English Redcoats and write history in the process.
Right, guys, that's the mission that I was on about earlier that I've done on in a previous short video. We'll talk through that one in a minute. It can be pretty hard to get on your own the first time through. So we need another train here. We want to transfer the fish up to Glasgow. It wants 25, so we'll try and do it in one hit. We want a new line from Fort William where we want to wait for a full load. And we want that to go up to that new station that we just put in Glasgow. Connected into the right area. That's going to be TF for train freight. And it's going to be Glasgow fish. Hopefully we start to get some fish down on the platform, which we have, so it's seen the demand. Happy days. Okay. So we'll accept.
The stones don't reveal their secret to just anyone. Prove that you are worthy of their wonders. How is this achieved? Well, that's written in the stars.
This is the one, guys, it took me a while to figure out. I only really know how to do it now because I looked at it online. I still don't really understand how you would find it out any other way other than it says here that it's written in the stars, but it didn't make me understand what it was asking me to do. But what you do need to do here is take this line that's already here with this horse and carriage going around it, delete all but one of the stops, and then what you need to do is make this line star shape. So as you can see, the one I've got left here is number 2 now. So if I add number 5 there, number 3 there, number 1 and number 4, that's connected them in a star fashion. I know it doesn't look it because of the yellow markings in the line, but now once this wagon has done one full loop around all of these stations in that order, it will just complete the mission. But that's what you need to do. You need to make the way you lay them out be in star shape, if that makes sense. I hope it does. What you'll see is we're already on fast forward here, so it shouldn't take too long for him to go around. So he's gone from this station, so he'll now go up to there, and he'll go to the it'll draw out a star. Is if you were doing it with your mouse, it would, but obviously because he's going around in the circle, it doesn't. Strange one, but that's how you complete the bonus task here.
The secret of the stones has been revealed. Although they didn't teleport you back to 1746. It was only to last Monday morning. But maybe that is better than waking up in the midst of a fierce battle.
And there we go. So that's how you complete the star puzzle that Craigh now done. There's a couple of things like that in the campaign that don't really make a lot of sense or are hard to figure out, should I say, puzzle-wise. You tend to find there's a few people tend to have Googled or they've gone on Reddit searching for the same solutions. Now, I don't like that this guy's trying to go on the same line. Realistically, I'd like it to have its own, but it's... with it only being the campaign, once it's made this first delivery, that's all we're really fussed about. If we were doing this for our own playthrough, I'd be putting waypoints on the track here and sending him through to make sure he goes the right way. There we go. Once he drops this off at the station up here, that should finish the delivering fish mission.
Thanks to your efforts, the industrial metropolis of Glasgow is really bursting into bloom. The factories are supplied with inexpensive labour, and the workforce with hard liquor and fish. The City Council is grateful, and has even proposed to Her Majesty Queen Victoria that you should be knighted. What an honour!
There we go, guys. That's the end of mission number 3. Thanks a lot for joining me again, and hopefully you've liked the series so far. If you have, please drop a like and subscribe. Make sure you know when the next one's coming out. If you've got any tips or tricks or any particular bits you got stuck on, let me know in the comments. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.
I guess it wasn't meant to be.